Brian Grimes, your real estate mentor, back with another action-packed session. Today, we're going to be talking about the future of real estate investing. Where is the market headed? If you want to know where the market is headed, all you need to do is look at the past. Look at the historical data, and it's going to show you what's going to happen in the future. So it's the easiest way to follow this. If you're new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment that says, I subscribe. For everyone who leaves that comment, I'm going to send you instant access to one of my free real estate trainings. It's going to show you how to purchase properties for pennies on the dollar all across the country. You don't want to miss out on that free offer. If you're interested in any of our programs, we have the Inner Circle. So if you just want to get around me and my team, we have private money lenders. We have investors from all across the country. If you want to tap into that, just DM me Inner Circle, tap into our Inner Circle program. We, of course, have the Boots on the Ground program where we find, finance, rehab, tenant, and manage properties for you. We are low on capacity, and the price is going up on the Boots on the Ground program. It's actually going up like today, pretty much. So reach out about that. Maybe we can get your grandfathered in. There have been some people on the hook. We're going to, the price is going to move up. It kind of happens as things increase. So definitely reach out soon if you want to get in the Boots on the Ground before it's too late, because we are just running out of capacity. We have the next ride along August 31st, which is a Saturday. If you want to come out to Philly, spend the day with me, see an operation, learn how to invest out of town, you can come do that as well. But today, I want to talk about a bunch of stuff. I want to hit some mindset and tell you guys a story from a guy that I spoke to today. It was a very interesting story, but it certainly will help a lot of you guys to think about it. So we're going to get into that. Let me jump straight into the mindset, and then we'll get into it. So the mindset for today is, no matter what, don't give up on your dream. Do not throw in the towel. I talked to two guys today. One guy tapped into our Inner Circle program. He was kind of skeptical, on the hook, and he almost gave up. He actually talked to me. He said, Brian, I was going to quit, but I watched one of your videos, and you said just don't quit. No matter what, don't give up on my dream. I didn't give up. And he's now at the stage in 30 days of spending time with us in the Inner Circle program. He's putting out offers on deals. He's got one deal. He's putting out an offer. He may get under contract like for 50 grand, put in, I think, 20K. And this is out in the Georgia market. And it's going to be worth like 120. So it's the perfect birth strategy deal. And he's like, Brian, if I didn't watch you, I would have quit. I would have given up. He's actually a surgeon. So he helps people for a living. And he's like, my people need me, but I'm getting burnt out, man. I'm working, I think he's doing like an 8-day, like 14, 16-hour day shifts for 8 days. And he's like, man, I'm getting older. I can't keep this up. So I need that real estate. So he's now starting to live his dream just because he didn't quit. So no matter what, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how tough it is, no matter how much you want to throw in the towel, no matter how many naysayers come along and say, are you sure you're going to do real estate? Are you sure that's going to work? No matter if your husband supports you, no matter if your wife supports you, don't give up. Do not give up on that dream, because real estate will change your life. There are very few things on this planet that will actually change your life and transform the way that you see yourself. Real estate, I can assure you, no matter who you are, if you get cash flow coming in, extra $500, $1,000 a month, it's going to transform the way you think. It's going to transform the way you see the 9 to 5. And it will, if you keep applying yourself, get you to the next level. It will get you financial freedom. It will get you into an early retirement. Now, I had another person I was talking to, and this story kind of hit me, and because they say you spend the most time that you'll ever spend with your children between the ages of 0 and like 10 or 11. Like that, you spend 90% of the time that you'll ever spend with your children between 0 and 11. That's kind of like what they say. So he's talking to me about how he's working, and he came to this country maybe 8 years ago, and he learned how to build houses from where he came from, right? So he's building houses, he's working construction, he's like grinding, and he got into real estate. So he started buying fixer-uppers, living in the house, fixing it, and then he would rent it out, move to the next one, and he's kind of going slow. He's at property number 3, but he's telling me the story about how he's working on this house, and he's like outside, and he's putting together materials, and his son is in the window like watching, and he's like, man, I'm working so hard. He's telling me how he's sleeping 3 hours a day for weeks, and he's like grinding, trying to figure this thing out. And his wife's working, he's working, his son's in the window watching him. And then he ends up reaching on the stove, grabbing some hot water, burns himself. And it's like, just like this horrendous story. And it hit him, this whole experience. He's like, I'm working to provide for my family, but I'm not there. Because the way that I chose, the path that I chose, is actually taking me away from my family. I don't have that freedom to actually pour into the next generation. And I'm like, damn, I got to help this guy. I got to get this guy more cash flow. You guys might think, some people think, they come to me skeptical and they're like, oh, Brian's trying to sell me, or this is another guru. I really love helping you guys. I'm here to help. And stories like that hit me because I'm like, man, I got to show this guy the better way. I got to show this guy how to leverage the real estate and be able to spend the time with his kids and pour that time into his kids. Because even he's seeing it. He's like, man, if I continue to walk this path, I'm not going to be there to pour into the next generation. I'm not there to help my kids. I'm not there to protect them because I'm away working. I'm hustling. I'm grinding. So choose your path carefully. This is why we love cash flow, the 24/7 cash flow university. We want to get paid over and over again for what we did, not for what we're doing. And we need to learn how to use leverage. That's why something like the Boots on the Ground program is so powerful, because you can tap into my leverage, my teams, my resources. You can be sitting in your underwear at your kitchen table while we're building houses for you across the country. You don't even need to be in the country. You can be outside of the country. Having access to leverage is it. Ownership of real estate is the solo sport. Building houses is a team sport. You need a lot of different people and resources. Guys, let's get into this update. I want to talk about some historical data and what this is going to tell us about the future. One, and if you have questions, comments, drop them in the chat, drop them in the comment section. We'll get to your questions as we flow through. Share the content with somebody who you want to get value, someone who you want to see win. And you want the people around you to win, guys. You don't want to just be the only winner in real estate and you're just leaving people on the curb, on the sideline. You want to have a team of people where you say, hey, we're going to Baltimore. We're going to buy the block. I'm going to take these 5, you take these 5. You want to have that type of leverage and control over the assets and the relationships and the business relationships. If you approach a lender, you and your buddies, and you're all doing the deals, you're going to have a little bit more authority there. They're going to give you more respect. Let's get into some of this market update. So the first chart that we're looking at, and this is historical data going back, let me lift this up. And guys, if you're on the IG, make sure you click the link in my IG stories, get over to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can see all the charts that we're talking about. The first chart that we're walking our way through, this is a home supply. So this is the monthly supply of homes on the market. This data is very important to track because it's going to show you how many properties are on the market at a given time, and if no more properties hit the market, how long would it take to decrease that supply down to 0? So a balanced market supply is typically 6 months. So if you're this is how you tell if you're in a buyer's market or a seller's market. If there's a 6-month supply of housing, meaning if no new properties hit the market, all of the properties would be off the market in 6 months. They will all be sold based on the current pace of sales. In a 6-month market supply, you are in an even buyers and sellers market. You're neither in a buyer's market nor a seller's market. Once you go below 6 months, you're in a seller's market. The sellers kind of have the authority because there's not enough inventory to really fight back. And if you go above 6 months, you're now in a buyer's market. The sellers have no authority. There aren't any bidding wars, essentially, because there's so much inventory that the buyers have the authority. They can go down and just lowball offer anybody. This is where you'll start seeing, like, you put out an offer, you can put out a 50% offer on a deal and win because there's literally like no competition. So if we go back and look at the historical data back to 2000, you can see that market, the month supply of housing was a little bit above like 4%. 4 months, like 5 months. So it was kind of a balanced market. Then as you got into like the market crash, when it crashed in 2008, 2009, you got up into like a 12-month supply, which is an extreme buyer's market. This is where a lot of us just started killing the game. When I got started, it was around this time, 2011, 2012, where we were still at nationally like an 8-month supply. So in this type of market, you could just waltz in and say, hey, I'm putting out lowball offers. You're going to see multifamily properties on the market that, I mean, everything will cash flow $1,000 a month. And you can just go in, buy it right from the bank, buy it right off the MLS. There's like literally no competition. Right now, the market is off of the lows. The lows nationally were 1.6 months. And this was in like 2021, 2022, coming out of the pandemic. Now we're getting closer to the 4-month mark, which is almost back to balance. This is telling you that the market is returning. It is returning to balance. So even if you've been sitting on the sidelines trying to wait for a good market, the good market is pretty much here. It's trending back to a 6-month supply. And we may hit that, I think, next year at this pace. Inventory is up like 40% nationally year over year from last June to this June. It's up. So as it returns, there's going to be a lot better buying opportunities. You want to be a buyer. You want to be in the market because you're going to get a lot of good deals. I'm seeing this in the Philadelphia market that we're investing in. I'm seeing this in the Baltimore market. I'm seeing this in the top 10 cash flow cities. More inventory than last year, more opportunity. So this is not the time to sit on the sidelines. The next chart that we want to look at is not that one. We want to look at the mortgage rate chart. This is a good chart to look at so that you guys can see where rates have been and where they're at now. So if you go back to 1995, 1990, rates were over 8%. 8%, which is right in this territory, that's essentially a ceiling. If we come to now, like clearly we know in 2020, rates were down in like the 2% range nationally. So a lot of you guys locked in those rates. Now they kind of bumped up and made attempts to hit that 8% ceiling and cross over and have failed multiple times over the last 2 years. And you're seeing where they're trending back to. They're actually going to trend back into this region next, which is the 4 to 5% region. That's where your resistance is. There's no resistance really in this chart until you get back into the 5% range, 6%, 5%. That's where we're going to be headed as we get into 2025, as we get closer to the election. If you guys saw the debate, I'm sure you have thoughts on that. And we're going to talk about next how the presidential election impacts the housing market. How has it historically impacted the housing market, different election years? So we're going to talk about that. Stick around for that and ask questions about that. But next, we're going to trend below 6% on our 30-year fix, on our 15-year notes, back into the 5-6 range. I also am predicting that you're going to start seeing 40-year mortgages in the United States. They exist in parts of like the UK. They exist overseas. They're going to come to the United States next. I'm surprised they aren't here in an abundance already, but they will be. Trust me, in 2025, 2026, that's what's coming next. And that's going to unlock serious cash flow, massive cash flow. And the investors who know how to take advantage of it are going to eat your lunch if you're not in the game and if you don't know what you're doing. It's another reason why you need to learn this game. Sitting on the sidelines does not teach you real estate. Sitting there thinking about getting into the game does not teach you how to execute in the game. You have to get started now so that as the market continues to open up, rates continue to go down, you're able to take advantage of the opportunity. But historically, 8% since like 1990 has been a bit of a ceiling. We've almost hit 8% this year. We kind of hit it in certain regions or for certain types of products. Definitely the non-QM market, non-qualified mortgages. But now we're going back into the 6s and we're going to go back into the 5s. Rates are going down. As rates go down, prices go up. Let's talk about prices next. Here's the historical chart on prices. And it's good for you guys to see this stuff. So you don't just listen to people, take their word for it. Look at the actual data. I'll put somebody asked, where can I find these charts? I'm going to put these charts in the description to this video on the YouTube channel. Guys, if you're on IG and you want to tap into the YouTube channel, click the links in my IG stories. Come over to YouTube so you can see the charts that we're talking about and tap into this data. This is the Case-Shiller Home Price Index since 1990, almost the 1980s. It's been a straight line, almost straight up. The prices just continue to go up, and rates are projected to go down. So even as rates were going up, prices were going up. You can kind of see from 2020 till now, prices have gone essentially straight up with a small, what I'll call a pullback, a test, but they just gone straight up. There hasn't really been a dip, and there's not going to be. There might be a correction in a local market. If you're in California, it might correct. Florida is correcting right now, mostly because of different things like the insurance prices in Florida have increased 100%. They've gone up again. So there are a lot of different things going on in these micro markets, but nationally, prices are going to continue to increase as rates go down. So don't sit there waiting for prices to adjust. Prices aren't adjusting. People are just getting up and taking their money and going across the country into the top 10 cash flow cities like Philadelphia to get cash flow. If you want cash flow, if you want buying opportunities, just get up and go to a market where there's opportunity and lock in, tap in. That's what people are doing. How do I know? Because people are calling me. They're saying, hey, Brian, I want to get into Philly. Brian, I want to get into Baltimore. Can you tap me in? Do you have contractors there? And the answer is yes. I have relationships and resources in all of these cities, and I can tap you guys in. But you have to be involved. You got to be in the inner circle. You got to be in the boots on the ground, because I only have so much capacity to help so many of you. You can stay tapped into this free content, and it will help you. There are plenty of people who tapped into the YouTube channel and gotten deals done. But if you want to accelerate, if you want to hit that easy button, you got to reach out. You got to tap in. And that, just DM me. If you guys are interested, just DM me, boots on the ground. DM me, inner circle, and we'll get you guys locked into that. Let's talk about the election stuff, because to me, this is an election year. And depending on who wins, which, I mean, everyone has their own opinion on who they want to win for a variety of different reasons. But depending on who wins, it will impact the real estate market. Let's look at how the real estate market has been impacted in a few key areas over the last, since the 1970s. We have really good data here. So home sales went up after 9 of the last 11 presidential elections. That means like the volume and the price movements, people are transacting more after these elections. 9 out of the last 11 home sales went up. And that typically happens because there's more certainty in the market. Leading up to an election, there's not a lot of certainty in the market. People are cautious. People want to sit on the sidelines. After the election happens, somebody wins, you have certainty on the next 4 years, sales start happening. The market starts moving. So if more sales are happening, that's telling you that more inventory is hitting the market. More opportunities are happening. You want to be a participant. You want to be getting ready. You have about 5 months, if you're sitting on the sideline, to wake up and get in this game before movers and shakers start stepping in and stepping on your toes. So this is your wake-up call to that degree. Let's get into another level of this. Home prices went up after 7 of the last 8 presidential elections. Home prices went up after 7 of the last 8. So don't ask me what's going to happen after the election. After the election, I'm already telling you guys, rates are going down. And the probability says prices are going up. So if you're sitting there on the sidelines waiting, you are waiting for prices to rise. You are waiting for a more expensive market nationally. It makes absolutely no sense. But if you are already an investor, if you are already locked in, now your assets, your current properties are going to increase in value. As prices go up, mortgages go up. As mortgage payments go up, rents go up. So on your existing rental properties, you're going to get more cash flow and rates are going to drop. You're going to refinance into lower interest rates, unlock more cash flow. This means the current participants are going to win bigger than the people sitting on the sidelines. It's a wake-up call. It's time to get in, get off the sidelines, dust off your sneaks, tighten them things up, get in the game, or you're going to get left behind. One other level to talk about, and then we will open up for some Q&A and put a bow on this thing. Somebody said the Democrats are hurting. The Democrats are definitely hurting after that debate. The Democrats are definitely shaken after that debate. Some of the Dems were crying after that debate. Like, it was crazy. Let's get into this, and then we'll get into some Q&A. Mortgage rates decreased leading up to 8 of the last 11 presidential elections leading up to it. And isn't that what we're seeing right now? Rates are decreasing. So the probability is telling you that prices will increase, sales will increase, the market will return, the market will start to get better, more properties moving and selling. We already are seeing market supply returning, which is telling you there's going to be more opportunity, and rates typically decrease. And that is the storyline of this year, is that rates are going down, and that rates will continue to go down as we get into 2025, 2026. So all of the historical data is telling you that this is the time for you to get into the game for a variety of reasons. Now, you can take that, the statistics and the probabilities, and say, I'm going to listen to the naysayer. I'm going to listen to my uncle, because my uncle said he got burned on a deal 30 years ago. You could take that and ride with that and see where it gets you. It's not going to get you ahead of the market participants. It's not going to get you ahead of the people who are in the game and who are making this thing happen. But you got to do you. What I'm doing, what our people are doing, is we're gearing up. We're getting ready for a massive 2025. As rates go down, as inventory increases, as prices fluctuate, this is going to create unique opportunities for BRRRR strategists. The BRRRR is back. The cash flow is back. And it's going to unlock a lot of you. It's going to take some people out of the 9 to 5. It's going to knock them out of the 9 to 5. So they're going to be sitting there chilling, watching you go to work. They're going to peek out the window. Oh, there goes another one. Don't be on that side of the fence, guys. Lock in. Get a couple of deals under your belt. Learn the game. Feed your mind with the right knowledge. Tap into the inner circle. Get connected with other people across the country who are doing this. Stop talking to people who don't even invest in real estate and listening to their horror stories as if they're the gospel. Who cares about their horror story? Get connected with the inner circle with other investors, not just me, but other investors who are successfully building financial freedom for their families across the country. That's the only thing that's going to change your life. Don't talk to naysayers anymore. That's my best advice for you. As soon as they start naysaying, just say, look, I appreciate it. Thanks for the story. But what have you done lately? What can you teach me? Great that you're afraid. What can you teach me that can get me to the next level? Because I ain't that afraid. I'm more afraid of the 9 to 5. I'm more afraid of being broke. I'm more afraid of working till I die than I am of failing in real estate. When you develop that mindset, you guys will get ahead and you'll get much further. So I hope that helps you guys to understand what the market's doing and where this thing is headed and where your opportunities are. I'm going to open up for any questions, guys. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat, drop them in the comment section. We'll answer a couple of questions before we wrap this up. But my advice to you is get in this game before it's too late. If prices go way up on you, especially in your local market, you may lose opportunity. You may miss out on the window of opportunity. But if you get in this game, I promise you, you will have a lot of opportunity. You will have a lot of ways to tap in. So hope that helps, guys. I don't see a ton of questions, which means you guys are just diving into the content, diving into the data, and drinking this stuff in. So definitely watch this back a couple of times. Stay locked in. And if you have questions, reach out to me, DM me, get a hold of me, DM me cash flow, DM me inner circle, DM me boots on the ground, and we'll get you guys locked in. Hope that helped. Brian Grimes, your real estate mentor. I'll see you guys on the next one.